lesson 7, which is talking about converting between systems. What it means by systems is our measurement system. In the United States, we use customary system, okay? Everywhere else in the world, they use metric. Customary measurements are things like feet, inches, yards, miles. Metric would be like millimeters, centimeters, meters, kilometers, or if you pronounce it kilometers, okay? That is metric. Anything that ends in a meter is metric. So now you guys have converted within the customary, like we did on our bell work this morning, we changed the 4 feet to inches, so we just took 4 times 12, which got us the 48 inches, is 4 feet. You convert within that, but now we actually have to go back and forth between like metric and customary, okay? There will be a chart that you're going to take a picture of in a little bit that you must save.
What's a foot in the metric system?
There's not.
That's.
They don't all match up. And that's why when we're going to look at our chart, it's going to be there. Like, a lot of times you think like a 5K is 5 kilometers, and we want to know how many meters long that is, okay? We're staying, if it's kilometers to meters, that's all metric, right? So how many meters are in 1 kilometer? That's something that should probably be memorized. It's 1,000. Okay? When you think of kilo, you think 1,000. So I'm going to take 5 times 1,000, which would equal my 5,000 meters. Okay? Now, I set it up like this, but now I'm going to take it one step further. The reason why it's in this chapter right after multiplying fractions is because you're really doing some multiplication. I have 5 kilometers, and I want you to set it up like this, times, I want to change it to meters. So I know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. This is just over nothing, or you can just say it's over 1. So what's happening is I'm really, and this is how we did the cross cancellation, I'm canceling out my kilometers. So I'm left with meters, and you just do the fraction. 5 times 1,000 is 5,000. 1 times 1 is 1, and 5,000 divided by 1 is still just 5,000. This is the part where it's a little bit tricky. So it says 1 mile is approximately 1.6 kilometers. About how many miles is the race? So I have 5 kilometers or kilometers, and I want it to equal miles. Are you with me on that? And it says 1 mile, so 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers. You're setting this up off to the side. Then I'm going to cross off my kilometers. And this is a fraction, so then I do 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 1.6 is 1.6. So then I have 5 divided by 1.6. This is where your calculator is going to come in hand. So everybody get out your calculator. Then I want you to put that in your calculator and tell me what the answer is. What did you get?
I got 3.
Gracie?
3.125.
Now, in this lesson, that is a terminating decimal to the stuff. But in this lesson, you're going to get some that are going to keep going on and on and on. Be careful because it will tell us to round to like the nearest 10th or round to the nearest 100th. But nice thing is we get to use our calculator. What you have to do first though is set it up. How are you going to set it up? Because that's what's going to matter. So let's go ahead and keep looking at this page. And then it says a kilometer is a unit of length in the metric measurement system. A mile is a measure of length in the customary measurement system. Write the following units of length under the correct measurement system. They don't equal each other. I want you to be very aware of that. Just like Tanner asked, is there something that equals a foot in metric? There's not. Just like an inch does not equal a centimeter. They are not, there is none of it that is equivalent. You guys understand that? Make sure you know that. Anything that ends in the word meter is going to be in the metric system. Oops. Yes?
You know how there's like the thing you just have like the R's and then like the centimeter and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Why does the centimeter and like all that like go with the inch and the feet together?
Centimeter, like customary?
Yeah, and like metric, some of them together.
Like millimeter, centimeter, meter, kilometer? That's all a metric type of measurement.
Oh.
Does that make sense? Then customary is what we use in the United States and nobody else uses it,
That's confusing.
which is inches, feet, yards, miles. Does that answer your question? Okay. So we need to put centimeter. Is a centimeter a metric unit or customary? Metric, so put it in here. Is a foot metric or customary?
Customary.
So we'll put it over here in customary. Do these equal each other?
No.
No, so do not think that they equal each other. They are not. It's just one side is customary units, the other side is metric units. Do we have an inch? That would be under
Customary.
customary. That's what we normally measure things as. A meter?
Metric.
Metric. Anything I said that ends in meter is metric. Millimeter?
Metric.
It ends in meter, right?
Yard.
And yard would be
Customary.
customary. Not only are you going to have it with measurement of length, you're also gonna have it with mass, you'll have it with weight, and you'll have it with like fluid ounces, okay, cups, gallons. We use gallons, quarts, pints, okay? When you're customary, it's all going to be, we also have the fluid ounces in that. Customary is like a milliliter, okay, liter.
Is kilograms metric?
Uh-huh. Yep. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. When you turn the page, you're gonna see this fantabulous chart there that they give it to you. We will be looking at this chart a lot. It's at the top of page 320. You need to take a picture of that with your iPad. This one right here.
I'll put stars around it.
Taking a picture really quick. I've got 5. 4 doesn't take that long to take a picture. 3, 2. Well, why are we talking? I gave you guys your break. This chart is telling us, here are some examples in length with 1 inch is, now these squiggly lines,
About.
it means about equal, it's not exact, okay, it's about 2.54 centimeters. 1 foot is about 30 hundredths of a meter. 1 yard is about 91 hundredths of a meter. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, it's about, it's not exact, because like I said before, there's not gonna be exact. We'll come back and look at this chart a lot. Now the next 2 examples that I'm going to go over will get a bit confusing, but I just need you to hear me out today, we're gonna do another example tomorrow. I want you to just process in your head, I'm setting up fractions that I'm going to multiply, but the first fraction that I'm setting up isn't gonna have anything underneath of it, so I'll just put it over 1, okay? I'm gonna explain this from here. So it says convert 17 and 22/100 inch to centimeters. So I'm converting, what am I converting first? The 17.22 inches. If that's what I'm converting, I'm going to put it over 1. And then I'm gonna multiply it by, and I want it to go to centimeters. So then my centimeters has to be on top, because that's what I wanna go to. Does that make sense? I'm at inches, I wanna go to centimeters. So then my inches has to be on the bottom, and then we need to know, we would look at our book, at that chart, and find out how many inches is a centimeter? Or how many centimeters is 1 inch? Find 1 inch in your chart.
About
found 1 inch.
2.54.
So my 1 is going to be here, and the centimeters is going to be 2.54. So we just set up my fractions that I'm going to multiply. I'm going to cross cancel my inches. Do you see how I did that?
Yeah.
So now my label, I'm left with the centimeters. So then I do 17.22 times 2.54. Just use your calculator. What does it come into? Type it in your calculator. Get used to using that calculator. Type.
43.738.
Okay, that's what it goes to, right? But let's just round. It tells us to round to the nearest hundred, so I wrote it all out, then I'm gonna say tenths, hundredths. Underline the hundredths place. Arrow to the right, so then it's really gonna be 43.7, not 3. What I'm pointing to is greater than 5, or 5 or greater, so it goes up to a 4. The hardest part about today's lesson, though, is to start it. How do I start it? How do I make those fractions? So number 2 says, convert 5 kilometers, so if that's what I'm converting, I write that first. Oop, 5 kilometers. If I'm converting that, I'm just gonna put it over 1 to show that I have it as a fraction. I'm converting it to miles. So what has to be on the top? Miles. Alright, so then I'm gonna go check my chart. And in my chart, it's gonna tell me how many miles per kilometer. 1 mile is 1.61 kilometers. So I'm gonna put the 1.61 kilometers on the bottom. Are you with me on that? Yeah. And it's 1 mile here. I am canceling out the kilometers. So I'm left with just meters as my label. And this is multiplying fractions. So 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 1.61 is 1.61. So now what kind of a problem do we have right here?
5 divided by
5 divided by 1.61. Do that in your calculator. So do you think, since we're using our calculator now, do you think I'm going to have you use it in the lesson?
Yes.
Yeah, sure am.
Long distance.
Gracie,
3.1055900.
I can stop there because it says round to the nearest hundred. So I'm going to underline, here's the tenths, hundredths place. Arrow to the right, so I leave it 3.1. Is that going to stay 0 or is it going to go up to a 1?
1.
It's going to go up to a 1. Let's do some more examples together. Biggest thing is setting it up. Okay, that's the hardest part about this. And you guys are going to be doing a lot of rewriting in this. But the nice thing is you set it up and then you can use your calculator and then it becomes pretty easy. As long as you set it up correctly, you'll get it right. So if I have 6 yards, I'm gonna start with 6 yards. I'm going to meters. So 6 yards is gonna go over 1. This is multiply it by something meters. So I have to have meters on top and what label down here?
Yards.
What? Yards. Because I want my yards to cancel each other out. So yards to yards. So now I have to go back to my chart. There's no way I can do this without using my chart.
6.
How many yards are in a meter, or how many meters are in 1 yard?
91.
Okay, so do I have the one, is it the 1 yard or is it 1 meter?
1
So I put my 1 here, and then how many meters is that?
9.91.
0.91?
Yes.
So then it's just 6 times 0.91. What do you get in your calculator after you do 6 times 0.91? 5 point what? 36? And it's-
46.
Okay, sorry. 5.46, and that's exact? It doesn't go on forever and ever?
No.
And so then do I have to round it?
No.
Nope, because it's already at the hundredth place. So there's your final answer. So now we have 1.6 centimeters. Put that over 1 because that's what I'm going to try to convert. And I'm trying to change it to inches. So what label needs to be down here? Centimeters, because I want to cross off those centimeters, so cross them off. Then I look at my chart, how many inches are in centimeters?
2.54.
So is it a 1 inch?
Yeah.
Okay, so I put the 1 here. Oops. And then what is it for centimeters?
2.54.
2.54. This is multiplying, so I do 1.6 times 1, so that's 1.6 over 1 times 2.5, so that's divided by 2.54. So then it's 1 and 6/10 divided by 2 and 54 hundredths. Did you guys write this down?
Yeah.
Are you writing all of that down? Okay? Have you put in your calculator, Katie?
0.62992.
I can stop. Because I'm rounding to the nearest
100.
hundredth. So I go tenths, hundredths. Underline the hundredths place. Arrow to the right, and it would be 0.63.
3.
Take a second and you try to just set up part C.
Oh God.
You have to use your chart.
Just set it up.
Just set it up. So to set it up, I want 17 meters on top, and that's gonna go over what number? Times something yards, and what's my label down here?
Meters.
Meters.
And then cancel out the meters.
So what, is it a 1 yard and then so many meters, or what's in your chart?
Yes.
Okay, I got 1 yard is how many meters?
0.91.
Like 1
What is it?
0 and 91 hundredths.
0.91. Okay, now my meters cancel out. So I know I'm gonna be left with the label yards. And then I do 17 times 1 is 17. 1 times 91 hundredths is
91 hundredths.
91 hundredths. Then I put this in my
Calculator.
calculator. Put it in your calculator. Ty.
18.6813.
Okay, and then I'm going to, hold on, let's just finish this real quick. Underline the hundredths place, arrow to the right.
So
It'd
it's
be 18.68.
8. We need this many.
Go ahead and stop that. What you're going